Thank you for joining me for another week of Honey from the Word. This week's devotion is titled, Great is Our God, from Psalms 139, verses 1 through 18. O Lord, you have searched me and know me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thoughts afar. You comprehend my path and my lying down and are acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word on my tongue, but behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You have hedged me behind and before and laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the utmost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall fall on me, even the night shall be light about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you, for you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance, being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts to me. O God, how great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they would be more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with you. Robert Wells wrote a book entitled, Is a Blue Whale the Biggest Thing There Is? It's a children's book to help little ones see just how big the universe really is. The largest animal on earth is the blue whale. Just the flippers on its tail are bigger than most animals on earth. But a blue whale isn't anywhere near as big as a mountain. If you could put 100 blue whales inside of a huge jar, you could put millions of those whale jars inside of a hollowed out Mount Everest. But Mount Everest isn't anywhere near as big as the earth. If you stack 100 Mount Everest on top of one another, it would be just a whisker on the face of the earth. The earth isn't anywhere near as big as the sun. You could fit 1 million Earths inside of the sun. But the sun isn't anywhere near as big as a red supergiant star called Antares. You could fit 50 million of our suns inside of Antares. But Antares isn't anywhere near as big as the Milky Way galaxy. Billions of stars, including superstars like Antares, make up the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy isn't anywhere near as big as the universe. There are billions of other galaxies in the universe, yet filled with billions of galaxies, the universe is almost totally empty. The distance from one galaxy to another are beyond human calculation. Yet we are told in this psalm that the one who created it all spoke it into being and sustains it with his power. The only thing that does justice to the greatness of God is God himself. In this psalm, David tells us more about God than we are told practically anywhere else in the Bible, and tells us how great is our God. First of all, God is omniscient. He knows me. The word omniscient literally means all-knowing. God knows everything about everything and everyone all of the time. Understand that God's knowledge is not just intellectual, it is personal. He knows you better than you know you. And that is frightening thought sometimes if you think about it. First of all, he knows what you are. Psalms 139:1 says, "O Lord, you have searched me and know me." The Hebrew word for search literally means to pierce through or to dig. In other words, God sees right through us. God also knows what you think. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You understand my thought from afar. Psalms 139, verse 2 from the New American Standard Bible. God sees our thoughts as if they were flashing on a neon sign. God can see your mind just as easily as you could read the morning newspaper. God knows where you are. You comprehend my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Psalms 139, verse 3. Whether you lie down or get up, sit or stand, God sees you, and God knows He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Finally, God knows what you say. For there is not a word on my tongue, but behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. Psalms 139, verse 4. Second of all, God is omnipresent. He is with me. That's great. Listen to the question David asked in verse 7. Where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence? Death cannot take you away from the presence of God. Verse 8 says, if I ascend into heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. Distance cannot take you from the presence of God. Verse 9 and 10, if I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the utmost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall behold me. Darkness cannot take you from the presence of God. Verse 11 and 12 says, if I say, surely the darkness shall fall on me, even the night shall be light before me, about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you. God not only has X-ray vision, He has infrared vision. It's great to know that God is with us. God is omnipotent. He can help me. The word omnipotent comes from the Latin word omni, meaning all. The word potens, P-O-T-E-N-S, means powerful. So it literally means all powerful. Just to illustrate how powerful God is, David does something very surprising. He doesn't talk about the stars, the sun, the moon, the galaxies, or even the universe. Instead, he simply points to the human body. David said, I am not here because of Mother Nature, fate, or evolutionary chance. You formed my inner parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. The human body is not an accident that was thrown together, but a miracle that was put together by God. That's why David exclaimed in verse 14, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. Think about this. The human body contains over 30 trillion molecules. The genetic information contained in each cell of the human body is roughly equivalent to a library of 4,000 volumes. If you're going to catalog all the genetic information in your body, it would take a library big enough to hold 30 trillion times 4,000 books. That's a lot. Let me leave you with this one last great thought. This great God, who not only knows you, but you can know Him if you'll place your faith in His Son, Jesus Christ. I heard about an unbeliever who was having fun with a man he worked with, and this man was a very devout believer in God, and the unbeliever said, may I ask you a question? He said, sure. He said, is your God big or small? The man smiled and said, he's both. The man said, what do you mean? The believer said, my God is so big, this universe cannot contain him, but he's so small, He can live in my heart. Do you want to know how great is our God? He's so great that even though He is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, He can live in your heart through faith in Jesus Christ. May the Lord bless you, and may we focus on how great and mighty our God is.